Title: When MOM went on a trip and I had to stay home with my stepfather. True infidelity story, safe version. The morning sunlight streamed into the kitchen as Emily sat at the table with her mother, Susan, sipping coffee. Susan was packing her suitcase, excitement buzzing in her voice as she talked about her upcoming work trip to Chicago. Emily, a 22-year-old college student who had just returned home for the summer, listened carefully. She admired her mother's dedication and ambition. The trip was going to last nearly 2 weeks, and for the first time in a while, Emily would be at home alone with her stepfather, Daniel. Daniel had been in Emily's life for the past 8 years. He was a calm, reserved man, thoughtful in his actions but not overly talkative. He worked as an architect, often spending evenings in his study sketching designs and managing clients. Though Emily had never been particularly close to him, she respected him for his patience and his gentle way of caring for her mother. On the morning of her departure, Susan gave Emily a warm hug. "Take care of yourself, and don't give Daniel too much trouble," she said with a laugh. Daniel helped load the luggage into the car, waved goodbye, and soon Susan was off on her trip. The house felt different without Susan's energy. Emily found herself walking through the quiet halls, the silence noticeable. At first, she kept busy by cleaning, organizing her room, and catching up on schoolwork. Daniel mostly kept to himself, spending time in his office. But slowly, over the days, Emily and Daniel began to interact more. One evening, Daniel suggested they cook dinner together instead of ordering takeout. Emily agreed, and they prepared pasta with garlic bread. To her surprise, Daniel was funny in a quiet way, making small jokes about how his cooking skills were barely passable. Emily laughed more than she expected to. It felt refreshing to see a lighter side of him. As the days passed, their small moments of connection grew. They watched movies together in the living room, shared meals, and even worked on a small home project, repainting an old bookshelf in the den. For Emily, it was eye-opening to realize that Daniel was not just her mother's husband but also someone she could talk to and trust. Still, the situation wasn't without tension. Emily often thought about her mother and wondered if she would approve of how comfortable she and Daniel were becoming with each other. Though their relationship was innocent, Emily knew it was delicate territory. She was careful not to let anything blur boundaries. One rainy evening, the power went out. The house plunged into darkness, and Emily found herself a little uneasy. Daniel lit candles and reassured her with his calm voice. They sat in the living room, listening to the storm outside. Emily realized she felt safe with him, not just because he was older, but because he carried himself with a sense of responsibility and care. The next morning, Emily called her mother to check in. Susan was cheerful, telling her about the meetings and how much she missed them both. Emily felt a pang of guilt, not because she had done anything wrong, but because she realized how much she had taken her mother's presence for granted. Toward the end of the trip, Emily and Daniel decided to cook Susan's favorite dish, chicken pot pie, so it would be ready when she returned. The process was filled with laughter, with flour ending up on their clothes and the kitchen looking like a small disaster zone. It was a bonding moment, but one that also reminded Emily of her mother's importance in tying them together as a family. Finally, the day of Susan's return arrived. Emily rushed to the airport with Daniel to pick her up. Susan hugged them both tightly, clearly happy to be home. That night, as they all sat together eating dinner, Emily realized that the time spent with Daniel had taught her something valuable. She had discovered the importance of family bonds, respect, and boundaries. Though the situation could have been misunderstood by outsiders, Emily knew that what truly mattered was the trust and loyalty that held them all together. In the end, Emily didn't just reconnect with her stepfather, she also learned to value her mother more deeply. The trip had given her an unexpected gift, a stronger sense of family and the knowledge that love wasn't just about romance but also about respect, support, and shared moments. The summer continued, but Emily never forgot those 2 weeks. It was a reminder that even in the absence of one family member, the bonds within a household could grow stronger when built on trust and care.